Hello everyone, this is Richard Moy from Phora Group. We are excited to show you a sneak preview of iPhora Flow, the first of a new series of products that are coming out this year. Whether you are a business user, power user, or developer, iPhora Flow enables you to build secure and scalable business applications from the simple to the complex. You can deploy, build, and manage these applications using our iPhora platform powered by HCL Domino 11. If you are going to Engage 2020 next week, I will be there to show you how fast we can create and deploy applications. In this preview, we're going to build and deploy a vacation request workflow in about 10 minutes. So start your engine and hang on to your hats as we go from 0 to done in 10. Thank you. After logging in, we are now in the iPhora AppPlace homepage. Since we only have one application within our AppPlace, iPhora Flow is available from the sidebar. Click on the sidebar to run iPhora Flow, and we have the iPhora Flow homepage. To access and create an application, click on Applications, and we have a button to start a new application. As you see, we have no other applications at this instance. Click on Create App, and it brings us to a wizard that would walk through different parameters that we need to submit for our application. We are going to create a vacation approval app, so let's copy the name of it, and then the description. In any application that is created using iPhora Flow, there could be a workflow-based application, or it could be a non-workflow-based application. In our case, we're doing a workflow application, so we'll turn that on. Application can be deployed either throughout the organization for all internal users, within a department, people within a location, where the administrator can assign them, or actually assigned by the person who's creating the application. Or you could have it so that it be available in anybody team. For a team could be both internal and external users. For us, in this case, we can do an organizational app for all internal users. Click Next. All applications, whether workflow or non-workflow, can have multiple types. In our case, we can just start with a basic workflow application. Later on, we can show you how to do templates in future. And this is a basic workflow application. For every application, we can assign an icon or a image. In our case, we'll just do a simple icon, and then any change in background color that you want to have. Since this is a workflow application, we need to assign roles. You can use the basic roles that come with it, or you add or remove the roles, or even change the name. For example, for this role here, we edit the name. You just call it Reviewer instead of the Read 3, and then click Next, and it provides you a summary of what the application will be. And now we create the application. And you see now, vacation approval is now displayed in your app list. Now we created the application. Let's take a look at the icon. As we see now, this is going to be a process or workflow-enabled application, and this icon also indicates that it is an organizational application. Let's click on the application, and it comes up to the Design Center. The Application Design Center varies depending on the structure of the application, and in the future, we will have other interfaces that allow you to customize it the way you need. In this situation, which is a workflow application, we would need to create a form, and also create a process of how that form functions and how the workflow progresses within the flow. iPhora Flow is a flow-based solution and allows you to use a graphical interface to decide how you want to have that workflow flow. So let's open up the new form. Here again, we want to click the title of the form. As we vacation request form. the typo here. Next is form description. And whether it's a workflow application or a non-workflow application, in a workflow application situation, you may have forms that are not workflow-based, but in this case, we are having a workflow-based form. And it's a summary, and now we can submit and create that form. It brings you to the form editor and designer. And from here, you can actually create the form using a GUI UI. This is a bootstrap-based responsive design workflow form. We'll break it up into 2 columns. And then we'll have just 2 fields, one field for the first name and one field for the last name. And in this case, we're going to just upload that request document that they want to have for requesting their vacation. So we recall this title as request document. And this widget, which we all need widget fields, we call requests. It's required, and we put required text. Normally there are standard text in there, but you can add your own text in there, including this display inside drag and drop. Now, you can use this also for branching, but we're not doing branching at this point, so we just close it up and update. So we'll modify these 2 fields in the title. And this is the first name that we're filling in. This is the name of the field. And we won't worry about these other ones because they're more for advanced situations. Same thing for the last name. We call that field last name. And then also the title is last name. So we update it, and now we save it. The next thing to do is to create the process of how this thing flows through for approval and for review. Now that new process started, the new process wizard will take us through and determine the title in this case. And we'll choose the title. We call this vacation approval. And we'll have a description of this process or workflow, depending on how you want to call it. And also the available forms. In this case, we have 1 form, which is the vacation request form. And it gives you an idea of the description of that form. So in this case, we don't need all these roles just for a simple workflow. In this case, we just do 1 for approver, 1 for reviewer, and 1 for submitter. You can restrict the process and who can be assigned or who can also submit. But in this case, we want everyone to be able to submit and able to read this and participate and see this workflow. And this will give you a summary of what's this process will be, and we submit. And now the vacation approval process flow has now been prepared. Now let's open up the vacation approval process that we just created. And now appears is the GUI UI for creating your process. iPhora Flow is a flow-based solution, so all processes are designed as flow nodes. So we mentioned that we have 3 tasks, 1 for submitter, 1 for reviewer, and 1 for approver. So let's grab those tasks in. And then let's set them up. So the first one is to be for submitter, and we'll fill in that information. And the performer for this particular workflow, as you indicated, with the submitter. And in iPhora Flow, you can actually assign in the different types of tasks and which tells the user what they need to do. In this case, we want to fill in the fields. We'll also want to tell them to upload the request document. So now that we have programmed the initialize, which is essentially what's coming in for the first time, let's update it. And notice that the request submit request is now up here. The next step is the approval or the review step. So review request. And the description for that one is review data and submit for approval. And we assign this to the reviewer. And when they initialize and see it up on the screen, we want to have them show their review information for us and submit. So we'll put that in. There's a typo there. And now we finish with that one. Let's update. And now there's the change. And the last task is for doing the approval requests, approve requests. And we do the review and approve step. And we want to also tell them to review and approve. And the format is approver 1. So after we have created our task, we also want to make sure that we complete. But one thing we want to do is create a notification. After that thing's complete, that at least the submitter has been notified. So let's program that up. And we call this notification approved. And we'll basically organization type that would tell us what's going on. This would be basically advance. A recipient is going to be by role the submitter. So basically you do carbon copy. Also you add comments, or if there's something that fails, you can stop the entire process. And additional features that we will talk about later. And we update that. Now let's hook them all together. And as we hook these together, it will start building a node when we process everything. And hook. Maybe a little too small there. So, and now the process is save it. And been saved in the system. And now let's build the actual process. Now the process has been built, and now it's been completed. So next thing we do is, now that we have built both the form and the process, we will publish it. Now it's been published. And let's refresh our screen. And now the app has changed because there's more than one app in my system now. And when I click on the app button, you now see the vacation approval. So we open the vacation approval, and now we start. Let's start the vacation approval process. And we have opened up a workflow, new workflow document for my vacation approval. It's a 3-step process, as you see here from the indicator. And the information that we submitted for the first step has all been submitted here. And we need to provide and confirm that we have completed it. Of course, there's a typo there. Let's upload that request form. Let's drag it in. And now we have drag and form. And then my name. And then I filled the information and upload request, and now I have submitted. And now we have started and completed step 1, and now it goes in step 2 as part of the workflow process. So it's really easy to create an application using iPhora Flow.